Welcome to Road to Hope. I'm your host, Bianca Jade. We once again are in the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo, and we're taking a closer look at Fort McMurray and how this community is continuing to rebuild. They have been through it all, and now as residents continue to return, we're learning about just how resilient they truly are. On this episode, we're going to take a chance to take a closer look at some of the schools, even children that are giving back to their community. We even are going to learn how horses, even the animals, how they're surviving and how everyone's coming together to make Fort McMurray just how it was before. We start off our program at Pasture Place. Now this is a rehab center that we have been to before on Road to Hope, but we're going to take a closer look and learn how Pasture Place survived as a cabin in the woods, the blaze.
We were extremely lucky.
A former long-term client once coined it as the little cabin in the woods. But now all that surrounds Pasture Place is charred trees and devastation. Just down the road, local Métis 1935 no longer stands. And yet somehow the detox center, comprised of just siding and shingles, is untouched.
Anybody who's been here or been to the property knows that we're really close to the trees. And for whatever reason, there wasn't a ember or anything that burnt down our place, so we're extremely happy.
Just by taking a walk around the property, you can see just how close the facility was to the wildfire. The tree line out back came within meters. The perimeter fence out front shows signs of scorch marks on various boards. Even the Pasture Place sign, although it's being touched by burnt branches, no damage whatsoever. Absolutely no explanation as to why this building still stands.
I've talked to a few firefighters and actually an RCMP member who said that there was no work being done on this area during the fire. So I don't know how it's still standing, to be honest.
Even Deputy Fire Chief Brad Granger said the way the fire and wind was going that day, it was pure luck.
Morning, everyone.
How's it going?
I'm Mitch. Good. Thanks for asking.
Pasture Place has been a staple in this community since 1979, assisting clients with various addictions. To many, this facility is just a building on the side of Highway 63 on the way out of town. But to those who call this place a temporary home, it's more than that.
It's their place where they come and they get to, unwind and deal with the trauma that they've been through and deal with the issues that they're going through, and they're comfortable here doing that. And that was one of the biggest things that once I knew this building was standing, it was like, this building needs to be there because this is that comfort zone for those clients.
We'll never know the real reason as to why Pasture Place was saved, but Ford says it may be the work of a higher power.
I definitely think that something bigger than us was watching the building. Something bigger than us knew that we still had work in the community to do, and we needed our building to do that work.
From a cabin in the wood to a barn in a field, we all remember those incredible visions of people fleeing with their animals, even a young girl that was riding her horse away from the blaze. Well, right now we take a closer look at how the horses are doing, about how barns are being rebuilt, just so the community can truly come together and rebuild.
An 8-year member of the Clearwater Horse Club, Carrie and Dorian knew the fire on May 3rd had burned through the Prairie Creek area. And knowing the extent of the damage made it that much harder for Dorian to return to her second home.
I didn't want to see because one of the girls knew somebody in forestry and they had already taken some pictures up here, but it was hard to believe until I got here. I came back on June 3rd and I probably came over here maybe on the 5th. And I saw the entire row of my barn and everybody else's in the row gone. It was just surreal.
35 barns once sat on the land occupied by the Clearwater Horse Club, but after the fire, 21 were either damaged or completely destroyed. No horses were lost, but among the barns that were a complete loss was one that belonged to the president of the club, Ray Hemsworth, who knows it'll take all members to bring the community-friendly ranch back to what it was prior to the fire.
We have thousands of people coming every day just to walk through here. It's so quiet and so peaceful. It's just going to be everybody working as a cohesive group to get it back to what their heaven. This is a piece of heaven in Fort McMurray.
Unfortunately for the members, none of the barns could be insured because they're all on leased land. So everything is coming out of each owner's pocket. To help cover the cost of the rebuild, the club has received a number of generous donations as well as some help from a local painter.
We're doing a lot of fundraising. Craft Canada has donated $25,000 to the club. We had a pub night where we've made over 10. These t-shirts were done by our local artist, Russell Thomas, and he's donated it so that we sell. We're fundraising with the t-shirts to make money.
Oh, you're such a good girl.
For Dorian, she's already ahead of the herd and should be rebuilt in no time.
Everybody's helping me to rebuild. It's just amazing. So we're on our way. We got a fence in and it's painted nice and white. And yep, we're gonna build it. Hopefully it'll be up there in the next week and a half or 2 weeks we'll be done, I hope. Everybody's getting treats. You're free.
Up next, we look at how Fort McMurray has continued to help themselves. Now, we all know that donations came in from right across Canada, but the community has really helped each other. Up next, we meet a young girl who has always been inspired by the Fort McMurray Fire Department, and their recent heroic actions have once again encouraged her to donate.
Lemonade! Come get your lemonade!
There's nothing like a glass of ice-cold lemonade to wet the old whistle on a hot day in August. On this summer day, 9-year-old Brianna Hutton wanted to help keep the neighbors hydrated with the summertime favorite, but with a twist.
She wanted to do something for the firefighters, which isn't surprising for that kid because she's been doing everything for them for the past 4 years. So she wanted to make a lemonade stand today, so I figured it's going to be a hot one. Why not let her go? So I started making homemade lemonade and they started selling it.
I wanted to raise money for the firefighters, for them to help for a thank you because they helped people save their houses. They helped save houses, and some of them lost their houses, so I'd like to give them this money.
This isn't the first time Hutton has donated money in support of our local firefighters. As each benefit is announced, the 9-year-old is one of the first to step up to assist in any way that she can.
She's raised money from her birthdays or her allowances. She's always split them half for the fire department for the rooftop camp out. She donated all of her money that she was saving for a new bike to Bo Cooper when he was sick and they were doing all the fundraising. And yeah, like she's always trying to give and give and give for them.
Juice box or lemonade?
He'd like a lemonade.
2 or 1?
I'm so proud of my kids. Like Brianna, as soon as she wakes up, she's always trying to help somebody.
They saved our houses and made the fire go away. And they got everyone out Fort McMurray really fast and safely.
Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Road to Hope, as we took a closer look at the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo and the people of Fort McMurray. It's hard to imagine what they've gone through, and if you are one of them that experienced that incredible blaze, our hearts are with you. To see more heartwarming stories about the regional municipality of Wood Buffalo, please check out our Shaw TV Fort McMurray team. Thank you so much for joining us. I've been your host, Bianca Jade.